the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live.
This is Akin, aka Jack is the Truth. I'm here at the Eubank Dereck fight with the one and only Mr. Coldwell. How you doing, sir?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
I'm really good. What was your take on the fight?
I was a bit gutted, to be honest. I thought it'd be better than that. I did always think that it was down to what James had left, and I think tonight it showed that James hasn't got a lot left. Certainly not enough to compete at this. Excuse me, to compete at this level. I thought Eubank showed a lot of improvements, and I thought that working with a coach and or more importantly, listening to a coach, you can see he's thinking about things and he's doing things that they're working on in the gym. You could see that he was a better fighter. Still not the complete package. Listen, one camp is not going to change all his bad habits and all his wrongdoings. But he's heading in the right direction. Having said that, I thought the James of 2 years ago would have dealt with him quite comfortably. But boxing's all about timing. We're here, we're now, and Eubank, thoroughly deserved the win.
A lot of the boxing coaches that we spoke to prior to the match all seem to have that opinion that you're not going to change the habit of a lifetime by suddenly getting a trainer and expecting things to change. But
no, you do. If a fighter is willing to learn, a fighter can learn no matter what age and what stage of his career. It's just that things take time for it to be able to happen in there on fight night. Now, I could see that Eubank was adapting, was changing, and was doing things that he doesn't normally do, which is an encouraging sign because it's his first fight with his new coach. So you have to give him credit. He is improving now. He's shown that he's on the right path and he's improving, and he's going to improve. Whether or not he can do anything with the better boys that have at elite level at super middleweight. When I say better, I mean James. For me, James, like I said, it's about what James got left, and he showed that the last few fights have showed that he's in decline, and tonight showed what he's got left, which wasn't enough. But the guys at the top, so Billy Joe Saunders has moved at super middleweight. Would you put Eubank in with Billy Joe for a rematch? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I'd like to see Eubank go back to middleweight, I think. But then again, I don't know how he makes the weight. If it kills him, then fair enough. But he just doesn't look as big and as strong at super middleweight as what he does at middle.
James Gale was adamant that if he couldn't beat someone of Eubank's reputation, that he'd retire. What do you think is next for him? Do you think he will retire?
I hope so. I hope he retires. He's had a great career. He's had a fantastic career. Olympics, world champion, been involved in big fights. Mate, he's had a great career. What is there left for him to achieve now? His last few fights have been very, very hard. He's getting marked up every fight. Boxing's a hard sport, and it's an unforgiving sport. It's not a sport that plays on sentiments. And although you want the fairy tale ending, and you'd like someone like James to go out on a top, he might think, I want to go out on a win or whatever. Sometimes it just doesn't work that way. And on the evidence of what I saw tonight and his last few fights, I'd like to see him retire.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about David Chisora. We heard the news that he's now signed with you and you're taking him on full time. How did that come about?
Yeah, his manager's David Hay, and David Hay rang me up one evening and said, "All right, mate, do you fancy working with Dereck Chisora?"
David Hay rang you up.
Yeah. Listen, boxing. This is what's great about this sport is you can have two fighters that hate each other, go in there, kick the shit out of each other, and then got respect and get on with each other. And likewise, myself and David had a lot of to-ing and fro-ing before. Well, more one way, to be honest, from his end before the first Tony Bellew fight. But we move on. What are you going to do? You're going to hold grudges, or are you going to move on? And I've liked Dereck since I met him through Tony. He's a really good friend of Tony Bellew. yeah, he's always been cool. I've always got on with him. He's always had respect for me, and he came up and had a taster session, and that was it. They wanted to work with me, and you know, we had a few discussions, and yeah, that's what happens.
What are his aspirations in the sport versus your expectations for him left in the sport?
Listen, I want the same as what I say with all my fighters. I want to see improvements every fight, you know, and it's improved already. In 2 weeks, it's showing improvements. So we're on the right path. So I want to see it carry on, and then you know, see who we're fighting next, and we'll take it from there. You know, you've got to see those improvements, and you've got to see that he's still got it. Do you know what? In 2 weeks that I've been working with him, he surprised me with how fresh he is and what he's doing in the gym. I kind of thought, because you know, when you see somebody on the outside, you don't know the full story. So you're watching somebody, and like the Takam fight, I thought, oh, he looks old. He looks, you know, I kind of, I'd like him to retire. He looks a little bit old and tired now. But then he performed well against Dillian Whyte. But then the ending, you think, oh, that's it. You know, how much more can he have left? But then the lads in the gym have all seen how he's training and what he's got left, and he's doing well. Yeah. So it's been a good first 2 weeks. It's a long way to go. Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
It's only been 2 weeks. Yeah. It's really exciting times in the heavyweight division in particular, and there seems to be a trend where our heavyweights seem to be getting over to America, with the deal with Tyson Fury with ESPN, Joshua fighting on DAZN. Do you think Dereck Chisora one day might have aspirations to box on an American card, or is that something?
Do you know what? I don't know. You'd have to speak to David A about that one, because he's the manager. He's going to tell you where he's going to fight and who he's going to fight. But I kind of get the feeling that Dereck's enjoying the fact that when he fights here now, everybody's singing his name, and they're all, you know, the reception he's had when we had I went to see him at the hotel where he was staying, before anybody knew that I was training him, and we'd started work, and everybody's like, Dereck Chisora. Everybody loves Dereck Chisora. And it's a little bit like the story with Tony, where towards the back end of the career, people like, I like this guy. So I don't know if he, because he's enjoying that, you know. I don't know if he's bothered about. He'd have to speak to him, but I don't know if he's bothered about going over to America and fighting in front of guys that really don't care about who he is. I think he's buzzing off how people are taking him to his heart.
Especially as UK has been crowned the new mecca of boxing. Do you think it's a good thing that everyone seems to be transitioning over to America, or what's your take?
As long as the fights get made, it doesn't really matter. But we've been smashing it, and a lot to do with that has been Matchroom and Sky, what they've done with boxing domestically over here. But if Matchroom now are starting to do that in America as well, then as long as it keeps up over here as well, then it doesn't matter. It's all right. But yes, British fighters want to go over to America, and British fighters will go over to America. But let's keep some over here as well, and let's have some big fighters over here as well.
Well, David Coldwell, I really appreciate you talking to the Boxing Voice. I appreciate your views on everything. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just appreciate all the fans and the responses that I get. You know, when I come around at these shows and on my Instagram and my Twitter, it's well appreciated, and it's never taken for granted.
I appreciate your time, David Coldwell.
If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive, from Border Wars, from title, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.